You wake in a cold sweat, the darkness pressing in as your heart races. Last night's dream still clings to you, faces blurred, cliffs looming, the gasp of wind in your ears as you fell into nothingness. In that moment of free fall, you felt both terror and a strange sense of urgency, as if something deep within you was crying out for attention. What if this vivid vision wasn't just a product of an overactive mind, but a message from your unconscious, urging you to pause and listen? Tonight, let's step through the veil of sleep to discover what your dreams are trying to reveal. When we surrender to sleep, our conscious mind steps aside, and an even richer landscape takes its place, one that Carl Jung described as the royal road to the unconscious. In this realm, raw emotions and unmet needs speak through vivid imagery, revealing truths that daylight often conceals. Jung believed that every recurring motif, every sudden shift in scenery, carries an archetypal weight, ancient symbols embedded in our collective psyche, guiding us toward balance and wholeness. Imagine your dream as a personal theater. The actors are fragments of your own story, your fears, desires, and longings, and the plot unfolds according to the hidden script of your inner world. By tuning into these nightly narratives, you learn to hear what your waking self has been ignoring. You might discover that the anxiety you feel at work comes to life as vertigo on a precipice, or that grief you've buried emerges as tears you can't swallow. This introduction to dream analysis isn't an academic exercise. It's an invitation to cultivate a compassionate dialogue with yourself. Over the next 10 minutes, we'll explore how to recognize these archetypal signals, decode their personal significance, and apply simple journaling techniques to bridge the gap between your sleeping and waking selves. As you lean into this process, you'll find that dreams stop being random flickers of the night and become trusted guides on your path to self-discovery. When you first begin to explore your dreams, the concept of the archetype can feel both mysterious and profound. Carl Jung coined this term to describe universal primordial images and patterns that emerge from the collective unconscious, a reservoir of psychic material shared by all humanity. These archetypes manifest in dreams as symbolic figures, landscapes, and scenarios that carry layers of meaning far beyond the literal events you experience while asleep. Consider the figure of the wise old man, or woman, an archetype that often appears as a guide, offering counsel in times of crisis. In one dream, you might find yourself wandering through a dense forest, lost and anxious, until an elderly stranger appears and hands you a lantern. This encounter is not about a literal journey in the woods, but about your psyche offering you insight, perhaps a reminder to illuminate a shadowy area of your life with conscious awareness. The forest represents the unknown depths of your own mind, and the lantern symbolizes the light of consciousness, the spark that allows you to see and integrate what has been hidden. Jung wrote, "Dreams are the royal road to the unconscious," emphasizing that archetypal imagery is the vehicle by which your deeper self communicates its wisdom. Unlike random firing of neurons, these images follow no ordinary logic. They speak in a symbolic language as old as humanity itself. Think of the archetype of the shadow, the dark, unacknowledged aspects of yourself you push away during your waking life. In dreams, the shadow might appear as a menacing figure, an attacker, or even a vampire draining your energy. Although frightening, this dream symbol compels you to face the qualities you have disowned, anger, envy, or vulnerability, so that you can reclaim those energies in a healthy, balanced way. Another potent example is the anima and animus archetypes, representing the feminine and masculine aspects within each of us. A man plagued by decision-making paralysis might dream of a powerful female figure who urges him to move forward. In doing so, his dream is activating the anima, his inner feminine principle, encouraging qualities like intuition, receptivity, and emotional clarity that serve to balance his overly rigid, rational stance in waking life. Similarly, a woman who feels disconnected from her ambition may dream of a strong male mentor, invoking the animus to inspire assertiveness and drive. These archetypal patterns are not arbitrary. They echo through myths, fairy tales, and religious stories across cultures, demonstrating their universality. When you recognize an archetype in your dream, you tap into a vast wellspring of collective human experience. By reflecting on how that pattern resonates with your own situation, you gain immediate, actionable insight into the dynamics at play in your life. Take, for instance, recurring dreams of water, rivers, oceans, or rainstorms. Water is an archetype of the unconscious itself, fluid, formless, and deeply symbolic of emotional states. A calm lake might reflect inner peace, whereas turbulent waves can signal emotional turmoil or unresolved conflicts. If water repeatedly appears as a threat, drowning, flooding, your psyche could be showing you that emotions have overwhelmed your conscious defenses. On the other hand, water as refreshment, drinking from a clear stream, suggests renewal and emotional cleansing. Recognizing these patterns requires sensitivity and practice. It helps to note not just the images themselves, but also your emotional response within the dream. Did you feel fear, relief, curiosity, or joy? Emotions are the compass that guide you toward the deeper message. Jung noted that dreams compensate for one-sidedness in waking consciousness. If you have been overly analytical, your dreams might be rich with feelings. If you have been mired in chaos, dreams may present order and structure. For example, a perfectionist might dream of a messy workshop, inviting them to loosen control and accept imperfection as part of the creative process. To illustrate this more concretely, let's examine a composite case study drawn from dozens of dream journals. A mid-career professional, whom we'll call Sarah, repeatedly dreamed of being trapped in a dark, windowless room. Each time she panicked, the walls seemed to close in, and no exit was visible. Upon waking, she noted an accompanying sense of frustration and fear, emotions she recognized from her waking life when she felt stuck in her job. Analyzing the dream through a Jungian lens, Sarah identified the cell as a symbol of limitation, an archetype echoing countless myths in which heroes must break free from confinement to achieve self-realization. Recognizing this pattern prompted Sarah to examine her own feelings of stagnation and inspired her to explore new career paths, ultimately leading to a role that better aligned with her values and talents. Jung's insistence on the archetypal dimension of dreams underscores their collective significance. You are never working with symbols unique to only you, but rather with images that resonate across human history. This collective resonance gives each dream an uncanny depth. When you tune into the archetypal level, you allow your personal story to connect with a broader narrative, and in doing so, you discover that you are part of something larger than your individual anxieties. Moreover, archetypes often appear in clusters or sequences, weaving together to form rich narrative tapestries. A dream might start with a descent into darkness, the underworld archetype, shift to a confrontation with a monstrous figure, the dragon or shadow, and conclude with a triumphant emergence, the hero's return. This dramatic arc mirrors mythological journeys, from Orpheus's descent into Hades to Psyche's trials in the realm of Venus, and offers you a roadmap for psychological transformation, descent, confrontation, and rebirth. Understanding these narrative structures empowers you to see your own inner trials as part of a meaningful process. Instead of fearing the shadow, you can approach it as a necessary encounter on the path to wholeness. Rather than fleeing from the dark side, you learn to integrate it, enriching your personality with newfound strength and authenticity. To summarize, the power of archetypes lies in their ability to translate the silent stirrings of your unconscious into vivid, universally understood symbols. By paying attention to recurring figures, wise old man, shadow, water, hero's descent, and by noticing the emotions they provoke, you plug into an ancient language that speaks directly to your soul. This archetypal awareness transforms dreams from ephemeral images into tools for self-knowledge, guiding you through the unseen terrains of your mind toward greater balance, purpose, and integration. Across hundreds of dream journals, recurring symbols reveal consistent, meaningful patterns you can learn from and even act upon. Let's explore 3 vivid examples that illustrate how archetypal imagery translates into real-world insight. In the first case, a young professional named Emily dreamed of plunging off a jagged cliff night after night. Each dream began the same way, a cliff's edge looming before her, a gust of wind at her back, and an inexorable sensation of tipping forward into the void. Waking in panic, she noted that these dreams coincided with mounting pressure at her marketing job, ever-increasing deadlines, micromanagement, and a nagging feeling that she was sacrificing her own values for external approval. By interpreting the falling motif as a symbol of loss of ground, both literal and psychological, Emily recognized that she had been falling away from her authentic self. The cliff became a mirror reflecting her subconscious alarm. She needed to slow down, reassess her priorities, and reclaim autonomy over her work. Armed with this awareness, Emily set firm boundaries around her hours, renegotiated deliverables with her manager, and reconnected with creative projects that aligned with her passions. A second dreamer, whom we'll call David, recorded a series of nightmares in which he found himself unable to swallow tears. In these dreams, enormous invisible tears welled in his eyes until he tried to gulp them down, choking and gasping for air. Although unsettling, this repeated image pointed directly to an emotional blockade he experienced in waking life. After the loss of a close friend, David had subconsciously suppressed his grief, convincing himself that strong people don't cry. The archetypal act of swallowing tears revealed the psychic cost of this repression. Recognizing that his unconscious was urging him to release pent-up sorrow, David began practicing gentle self-compassion exercises, journaling about his friend, allowing himself to cry in a safe space, and sharing memories with others. Over time, his dreams shifted from choking on tears to weeping freely, signaling an integration of grief rather than ongoing denial. Our third example involves Maya, who chronicled a dream featuring a dilapidated, rusting door set into an ivy-covered wall. In the dream, she hesitated before pushing it open, sensing both dread and curiosity. When she finally turned the handle, the door groaned, but swung wide onto a sunlit garden overflowing with blooming flowers. On waking, Maya felt a fleeting hope, but also apprehension. She wasn't sure what the door represented or why it felt so heavy. Examining her current life circumstances, she realized she'd long resisted a vulnerable side of herself. Even successful as a freelance graphic designer, she feared pitching ambitious projects or seeking mentorship. The old door symbolized her own mental block, an archetype of barrier and threshold. By acknowledging that fear, Maya chose to open the door in waking life. She sent proposals to a new client, attended a design workshop, and invited feedback from a seasoned professional. Each step felt uneasy at first, but as she moved through the metaphorical threshold, her confidence blossomed, just like the garden in her dream. What unites these cases is the direct correspondence between dream imagery and waking life dynamics. These archetypal symbols are not abstract curiosities. They function like an internal GPS, redirecting you when you go off course. The falling cliff warns of self-abandonment, swallowed tears signal repressed emotion, and the rotten door highlights opportunities you've been afraid to explore. In each instance, simple journaling, capturing sensory details, emotions, and associations, served as the catalyst for personal transformation. To draw practical lessons from these examples, consider adopting this 3-step approach each morning. Record the narrative. As soon as you wake, write down the sequence of events and vivid details. What did you see, hear, or feel? Name the emotions. Identify your emotional responses inside the dream: fear, shame, relief, curiosity. Emotions are the key to unlocking symbolic meaning. Map to reality. Ask yourself, where in my life do I feel this same emotion or scenario? Look for parallels between dream imagery and your day-to-day challenges. By consistently applying this routine, you train yourself to spot the archetypal signals at play. Over time, you'll notice not only which symbols recur, but also how your conscious actions shift in response. Just as Emily, David, and Maya reoriented their lives through dream insight, you too can leverage these nocturnal messages to navigate personal and professional crossroads. Remember, dream cases are not one-size-fits-all prescriptions. They're invitations to dialogue with your unconscious, to ask, what am I overlooking? And what does my psyche need right now? The more attentively you listen, the more precise and empowering your interpretations become, and the more your dreams guide you toward wholeness rather than confusion. In the next section, we'll dive into the step-by-step process of journaling and interpreting your own dreams, turning these symbolic encounters into actionable pathways for growth. To transform your dreams into a conscious roadmap, you need a simple, reliable process. This 6-step routine will help you capture the essence of each nocturnal message and translate it into actionable insights. Step 1. Capture immediately. The moment you rouse from sleep before the grip of morning thoughts takes over, reach for your dream journal. Whether it's a dedicated notebook or an app on your phone, record everything you can recall: settings, characters, colors, dialogue, and sensory details, like the cold wind on your skin or the metallic taste of fear. Even fragments, red door, roaring engine, child's laughter, are precious clues. The vividness of dream imagery fades quickly, Prompt recording preserves your raw material. Step 2. Note. Emotional currents. Beneath every image lies an emotional undercurrent. After jotting the narrative, underline or highlight the feelings you experienced. Panic as you fell, relief at finding safety, curiosity at an open doorway. Emotions are the compass pointing toward the dream's core message. Ask yourself, did I feel trapped, liberated, anxious, joyful? These affective markers often map directly onto situations in waking life where you experience similar emotional tones. Step 3. Identify recurring motifs. Over days and weeks, review your entries for patterns. Do you repeatedly encounter water, rising tides, rainstorms, or calm lakes? Does the image of flight, gliding, falling, being chased, keep resurfacing? Recurring motifs signal chronic themes in your psyche. Water may point to emotional processing, while flight can denote freedom or fear of failure. Chart these patterns in a simple table. Motif, emotion, waking life parallel. Step 4. Symbol association. With your motifs in hand, consult archetypal references, mythology, fairy tales, or Jungian glossaries to enrich your understanding. For example, a labyrinth archetype suggests confusion or a quest for meaning, while a bridge symbolizes transition or connection. However, archetypal meaning must be personalized. Ask, what does a labyrinth mean to me right now? Perhaps you feel lost in a career choice, or you're navigating a complex relationship. This tailored association bridges the gap between universal symbol and personal relevance. Step 5. Ask targeted questions. Now, interrogate the dream with 3 core questions. What stands out most vividly? Pinpoint the central image. What emotion accompanied it? Connect the image to its effective tone. Where in my life do I feel the same emotion or scenario? Map the dream scene to your current reality. These questions focus your interpretation and prevent overanalysis. For instance, if a dream of being lost in a city made you anxious, and you're feeling overwhelmed by social obligations, the city becomes a metaphor for crowded expectations, prompting you to set firmer boundaries. Step 6. Plan a conscious response. Dream analysis isn't just introspection, it's a springboard for deliberate action. Based on your insights, choose one small step to address the issue. If recurring water dreams reveal suppressed emotions, you might schedule 15 minutes of daily journaling about your feelings. If a locked door appears, commit to exploring one new opportunity you've been resisting. Document your intention in your journal and track your progress. This closes the loop between unconscious message and waking life transformation. Bridging dream and day. Each morning's ritual of recording and reflection weaves your nocturnal insights into the fabric of your daytime life. As you cultivate this habit, you'll notice that dream themes begin to echo in your waking decisions. That makes dream work not just a passive exercise, but an active partnership with your unconscious, guiding you toward balance and authenticity. By faithfully applying this journaling method, you transform dreams from fleeting nighttime spectacles into a reliable inner GPS. You'll learn to heed early warning signals, stress manifesting as vertigo, grief as choking tears, and to unlock hidden potentials like the confidence awaiting on the other side of that rusted door. In the next segment, we'll address a common skeptic's objection and explore why dream analysis, though seemingly subjective, can yield concrete, life-changing results. You might be thinking, dream analysis is too subjective. How can jotting down symbols and feelings compare to rigorous scientific methods? It's true that dreams don't come with step-by-step lab results, and interpretations can vary from person to person. Critics argue that without standardized protocols, dream work risks becoming little more than speculative storytelling. However, simple journaling and targeted symbol inquiry offer tangible benefits rooted in self-observation and pattern recognition. When you record your dreams over time, recurring themes and emotional tones emerge, data points you can track much like moods or sleep quality. For example, if stress dreams featuring falling occur whenever deadlines loom, you gain clear evidence of how work pressure impacts your psyche. Acting on those insights, setting boundaries, adjusting expectations, often leads to measurable improvements in well-being and performance. Moreover, research in sleep and psychology supports the value of dream recall and reflection. Studies show that individuals who maintain dream journals report greater emotional clarity and reduced anxiety compared to control groups, suggesting that the very act of mindful attention to dreams fosters mental resilience. While dream analysis may not fit neatly into a double-blind trial, its strength lies in empowering you as the primary observer of your inner world. So, even if dream interpretation feels less scientific at first glance, it functions as a structured self-monitoring system. Your journal becomes a record of psyche-to-self communication, guiding deliberate, data-informed actions. In this way, dreams stop being random images and become reliable signposts, justifying the time you invest in listening to their wisdom. By journeying through the language of dreams, we've unlocked a profound dialogue between your conscious self and the hidden layers of your psyche. Carl Jung's insight that dreams serve as the royal road to the unconscious invites us to view each nocturnal image as a meaningful signpost rather than random noise. We've seen how archetypes like the shadow, the wise old guide, and elemental motifs such as water emerge across cultures and individual stories, offering a universal vocabulary to describe deeply personal experiences. Through the cases of Emily's falling cliff, David's swallowed tears, and Maya's rusty door, we witnessed real transformations ignited by simple yet powerful dream work. These examples demonstrated that recurring symbols are more than mere curiosities. They are early warning signals of imbalance, calls to action, and blueprints for growth. Our 6-step journaling and interpretation method, capturing details at dawn, identifying emotional currents, tracking motifs, associating symbols, asking targeted questions, and planning conscious responses, transforms dream imagery into actionable insight. As you integrate this practice into your morning routine, you strengthen the bridge between sleep and wakefulness, allowing your dreams to guide daily decisions rather than fade into oblivion. Even skeptics, who question the subjectivity of dream analysis, can appreciate the tangible benefits of self-monitoring. Recurring stress dreams alert you to overwork, while images of liberation inspire new risk-taking. Empirical studies further support that mindful engagement with dreams enhances emotional clarity and reduces anxiety, validating this ancient practice in a modern context. Ultimately, embracing your dreams is an act of self-compassion. It acknowledges that beneath the surface of habits, responsibilities, and roles, a vast inner world awaits your attention. By listening to the nightly narratives of your unconscious, you reclaim agency over hidden fears, unmet needs, and untapped potentials. Each dream becomes a trusted advisor, guiding you toward balance, authenticity, and resilience. As you close your journal tonight, remember, the messages you record are not endpoints but beginnings, entry points to deeper self-awareness and ongoing transformation. As our journey through the realm of dreams draws to a close, I invite you to pause and reflect. Which image from last night's dream still lingers in your mind? Was it a vast ocean churning beneath a stormy sky, or perhaps a locked door with paint peeling away? Whatever your symbol, share it in the comments below. Tell us what you saw, how it made you feel, and any connections you noticed between that image and your waking life. Your experience could be the key that helps someone else recognize a pattern in their own nocturnal narratives. If you found value in uncovering the hidden language of your unconscious, make sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Every week we explore a new facet of Jungian psychology, from decoding archetypes to integrating shadow work into everyday decisions. Subscribing ensures you won't miss our deep dives and practical guides designed to help you live more authentically and mindfully. In our next episode, we'll venture even deeper. You'll learn how to work with two of the most powerful archetypes in Jungian theory, the shadow and the anima, animus. We'll examine how confronting the shadow can free you from self-limiting beliefs, and how engaging with your inner feminine or masculine principle can restore balance and vitality to your life. You'll discover journaling prompts, guided imagination exercises, and real-world case studies that show how shadow integration and animus dialogue can transform relationships, creativity, and self-esteem. Whether you struggle with self-doubt, emotional blocks, or creative burnout, this exploration will equip you with tools to harness the full spectrum of your psyche. Before you go, here's a simple nightly ritual you can start tonight. After you journal your dream and note its emotions and symbols, ask yourself one final question. What's one small, courageous step I could take tomorrow that aligns with my dream's message? It might be as straightforward as scheduling a moment of solitude to process feelings, or sending an email you've been hesitating to send. By closing the circle between dream insights and waking actions, you'll transform your dreams from passive reflections into active catalysts for growth. If you'd like additional support, check out the resources linked in the description. You'll find our printable dream journaling template, a downloadable list of common archetypal symbols, and a free guided visualization audio to help you recall and record dreams more vividly. These tools have helped thousands of viewers deepen their dream practice and cultivate sharper self-awareness. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the unconscious. May your dreams tonight be vivid messengers, and may your morning reflections light the path to greater understanding. I look forward to reading your dream stories and continuing our conversation in the next video. Sweet dreams, and until next time, keep listening to the royal road that winds through the landscape of your soul.